to wrap this up. So if you would kindly put the questions back in the baggies for me. I do want your sheet where you wrote your rationales on there. Okay? We're going to continue with this in the academic year, so please put your names on there. You may not be back with that person in academic year, but at least we kind of know who wrote what. Okay? While you're doing that, I need to know if the matrix was useful to you. So please raise your hands. Okay, put your hands down. Would someone like to make a comment about how useful it was, Ashley?
Well, first of all, it lays it out in a visually pleasing and organized manner as opposed to reading a bunch of paragraphs and whatnot. And it made it easier to quickly access information. And plus the multiple examples across.
Science?
Right. It seemed a lot, especially on level 1, had a lot of focus on the math.
Yes.
But, so it was easy to correlate to it.
Okay, Pam?
I thought it was cool how, I don't know your name, I'm sorry.
Oh, Jeff.
Jeff, he actually started making the chart before he passed out a chart. He had actually made a chart that was very similar to our chart.
Very nice, very nice. We're going to get into it. Tanya?
Well, I was going to say, as we were going through the questions, I kept wanting to go deeper into the webs, but then Jeff kept pulling me back because he'd say, well, you're going to have those multiple choice questions, so they're not physically making those
They're not synthesizing the information.
they're not explaining it, they're not coming up with it. They've got 4 choices that they have to choose. So we kept going back further.
Yeah, if you have those multiple choices down there, then it does change the level, because then they can eliminate, all those test strategies that you'll teach them, they can eliminate and do all of that and narrow down the choices and pick C, right? Pick C. Someone else had their hand up, Melissa?
I was just gonna say, when I was filling out the empty printable, the 24 by 24, I noticed that my goal was to fill in those higher level questions. And I was looking and we were just kind of we gotta come up with some lower level ones.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's there.
Yeah.
We gotta get them there. And it was just kind of visual for me to see where my mind goes to ask questions.
Yes, remember back in the previous slides, we said teachers need to use all levels 1, 2, and 3. If you can get to 4 with your kids, if you have a pre-AP class, maybe, then that would be great. But levels 1, 2, and 3, you definitely need to get to every grade level, every class, every subject. Okay? So I'm assuming you passed these sheets up to the front, so I can take them up. Would you also pass the packets of items up to the front?
We got yours.
That's Brown.
Yes, ma'am.
I was going to say, Crystal put an image in Dropbox under lesson planning for 16-18, and it's a circle graphic organizer with the sentence starters. Because when we were doing a little bit, it kept saying, what is the relationship? And it's like, that's level 1. So it has, explain.
So you don't say what on all of them. We were looking for other ways to start, other than who, what, when, where.
Yeah. If you Google Hess's matrix of cognitive rigor, you're going to get lots of different things. One of them is a circle that's divided into 4 quadrants, and it does tell you some beginning words to start your questions. Yes, ma'am.
I do wish that I had learned to do it using Hess's cognitive rigor matrix before seeing the other one that has the questions, because that I was more narrow-minded of the questioning. But now seeing in reverse, I can go back to those questions and be able to.
Okay, so for those of you that have never used this before, there are some sentence stems that you can find online for Hess's cognitive rigor matrix. Those sentence stems were confining to her because she was just locked in on those, rather than being able to use, the matrix with all these different ideas of what to do. So I would suggest not using the sentence stems. I don't give them to my undergraduates when I do this with them. I just give them the math and science one, and I give them an empty one, and I give them questions to sort. Of course, it's a math method, so I don't give them the science questions, I just give them the math questions, okay? You've asked for a blank one to use when you're writing your lesson plans, which thrills me to death. So they're making more copies of the blank ones so you can use. You got them?
Yes.
And now I'm going to give you this. This combines TESS with NAEP. So NAEP is the test that does, I'm not going to end this sentence with what. What does NAEP test, Tim? Anybody?
I'm sorry, I don't know that.
What is NAEP?
Test levels of complexity.
No, not really. Nobody knows what NAEP is? Candace?
It's data from the United States that compares the rest of
The world.
Oh.
Yes, the rest of the world. I heard somebody in here talking about NAEP, so somebody in here knows about it. I can't remember who I passed by when they were discussing NAEP. But it does test in certain grades, like 4 and 8, and it compares our scores to the world. So, you know, you get all these headlines that says math is falling, U.S. is falling behind in math. That's where that data is coming from, okay? So this compares it, what am I trying to say? This gives you more descriptors for math and science to help you analyze questions and to write more questions. My undergraduates actually like this better than the matrix, but I make them use the matrix. Okay,
Dr. Browning, what is this?
Oh, Melissa, you get the gold star.
I gotta bring it up. She's over here going, what is this? She ain't gonna ask.
I love it because now y'all are all noticing pronouns. That is wonderful. This is, let me put my glasses on. This is applying Webb's depth of knowledge and NAEP levels of complexity in mathematics, and it's by Marge Petit and Karen Hess. Okay, we have it for math, and I have the paper for math, and I have the paper for science. So pick whichever one you're supposed to have. Okay, there may be enough for you to have both. I think there are enough for you to have both. So take one of each, and use these and the matrix and the blank matrix when you start writing your questions for your lesson plans. Okay? I do want you to notice the editorial comment by Rowan on number 15. Did y'all read this? The editorial comment by Rowan. Number 15, math question, has an incorrect use for experiment for science. It's not a true experiment, okay?
So,
Why is it not?
okay, go ahead.
Why is it not? Why is this question item? Oh, yeah, I took up your items, didn't I?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is it because it's already been done? So it's not testing the question?
I'm not sure. Sandra?
No.
Okay, then why? I've taken up the item so they can't see it, so why is it?
Because of the correct, we are gonna have a section on this. The 3 types of investigations in your text are a range from descriptive to comparative to experimental. So experimental has a control, the other 2 do not. And so the general correct term is investigation.
Yeah.
The layman's term is experiment, and they don't really understand what that means scientifically. And oftentimes scientists use the term experiment, but they know the jargon and they know what type of investigation it is.
Okay.
So if you use the term experiment, I gave this illustration before, you may do like I did when I didn't know the difference, and one of my kids in high school would say, "Where's the control?" And I go, "Must be that," because I didn't know, and there was no control. And then the other good story that goes with it, I had a high school student who discovered new species in the world, took it to San Antonio Science Fair, or Bear County, they counted 10 points off because he didn't have a control, because that was what was on their sheet, their score sheet.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, are you crazy? No, I think I said, are you kidding me? I said, don't you know that this is a new species, it's a descriptive research, and it's not, there's no control. So a 14-year-old discovers a new species in the world and he can't get out of county level science. So it is important to know the difference. So use the term investigation, you're be safe. Okay. You don't understand yet because you haven't had the.
No, I know what you're talking about, just he really lost the science back.
Yeah.
She's so mad.
Chris was going,
I know she's incredulous.
right, he did, honestly, that's a true story. Happened when I was teaching in Madison High School. Anyway, so we're gonna go into that in more detail, and you're gonna be exposed to some of the research in this building. You're gonna look at posters. Go ahead.
Tim, did you have something real quick?
Did your student get any recognition for finding new species?
No,
Oh,
no, not from them.
Oh.
From
Got
anybody?
it published, well, yeah, they got it published with,
Hopefully, yeah.
yeah. I don't remember if they got his name on it or not, but that's typically what they do. We're gonna go to Enchanted Rock, and it was in what they call an intermittent pool, so they have little, little low areas that have been, what? Eroded, weathered, what?
And she ended the question with what, all right? So we're trying not to do that.
So what was the low area? No. What process created this low area in the rock?
Weathering and erosion.
When it rains, it will have what they call intermittent pools, and so you'll get eggs hatch out during the intermittent pools anyway. So that was where the crustacean.
Very nice. Okay, so you have your two purple sheets that are going to help you when you're writing your lesson plan questions. You have your blank copy of Hess's matrix. You have the matrix that tells you the criteria for each of the 24 cells. Any questions? Okay, then I just have a few more questions for you, which will take me about 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yes, but don't time me. So, I know, you're trying to get rid of me. Okay. So, depth of knowledge questions. Questions are asked in TV shows all the time. So, can you find an example of that's a yes or no. Tell me an example of a show on TV that would be asking level 1 questions. Brenda.
Jeopardy?
Jeopardy, you are absolutely right, and I can't turn the slide with the projector thing.
What is
Jeopardy, why are they level 1? Count.
Basic recall.
Basic recall. Now they have to phrase it in the question, but that doesn't change the level. It's basic recall. How about level 2?
Are we talking game shows?
Any show.
What about the Price is Right?
Price is Right? What do y'all think?
I'm gonna be so impressed if that's the next.
That's not
The Price is Right, that's only
They're making
today,
a
right?
comparison.
I've heard one person say that's recall, I've had other persons say it's not, correct?
Oh, I was gonna name a different one. They memorize the amounts, how much they cost, they just remember.
No.
Yes, I promise.
I have prices right. That's what I do.
Are they given a list of the items that are going to be on the show prior to the show?
No.
There are lists out there of that because they are sponsored. So the same items come up repeatedly, so yes, there are lists out there like that.
Okay.
No, but it's make and explain estimates. You have to make estimates of prices based on what you've seen. I mean, I'm sure you can study them, but it's making.
So if they have this list,
Right, it's
and they
recall.
memorize them, then that would bump it up to level 1.
Right.
But if they have not and they're making judgments, even though they're not really very deep judgments,
No.
then be level 2. Yes, ma'am.
I don't think it could be a level 1 because the price of milk varies.
Yeah, it's,
From day to day.
I mean, Hawaii is like $6.
Okay.
Well, even when you go to HEB, one week it's this and the next week it's something else.
Okay, so possibly level 2. Level 3? Smith?
Divorce court.
Any other guesses? That's a good one, that is not the one I have.
Are we on level 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Stuff that you can't, this is what it calls.
People's court.
Oh, I heard that.
Oh, I was gonna say survivor.
Survivor, why?
Because they have to use concepts to solve non-routine problems. They get stuff thrown at them and then they have to solve them.
Okay.
And then, sometimes they have to, well, sometimes they do have to create things, but most of it's design investigations to figure things out. They have to, use and show reasoning, planning, and then they have to give their evidence as to why they did it afterward.
Okay.
Do you want me to keep going?
No, ma'am, that's good enough. And then I heard Brandon say, you said something.
Brandon should Top Chef.
Top Chef.
Top Chef.
What's that?
It's a cooking
It's a
show.
cooking show.
Oh, is
It's a
it? Oh,
cooking
Top
show.
Chef.
Top Chef.
I thought
Yeah.
you said top shelf, I was thinking.
I did have
Bachelor or bachelorette?
Scripted.
That's,
Alone.
If that is naked and afraid, if that's scripted, then,
Alone.
all of those, mystery shows, you know, like NCIS, CSI, perhaps Forensic Files, that kind of thing. I like to watch the murder shows that deal with real murders, you know, like on ID. So how about level 4? Ma'am? Naked and Afraid, she thinks it's level 4?
Did Mary?
well, let's have,
She said it right.
Ma'am?
oh,
Numbers.
Keith said.
Let's pull back together now. Numbers
Numbers.
would be, it's a show, it has lots of math in it.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, numbers. So, anything that requires the thinking and integrating of multiple relevant sources from multiple perspectives, or a new product. If you're developing a documentary, you're working at level 4. The people watching the documentary are not. But if you're developing it, you are working at level 4. Yes, ma'am.
what about Mythbusters? They design all their experiments based on like a rumor or something, and then they do it and they analyze the information.
Possibility, because I don't know that show, so I.
Oh, it's fun.
But moving on, because we do have someone else that needs to come up. I appreciate all of your work, and you probably need to clear off what I have given you so that the ladies here can give you what they need to give you. Okay? And thank you so much.